In Fiscal Court on October the 17th of 2023. It's now 9:30 a.m. And at this time, if Perry Cook, if you would lead us in a prayer and a pledge of allegiance.
If you'll pray with me. Father God, Lord, we thank you that we can come together, Lord, to do the business of this community that you have blessed us with. God, we are thankful for our leaders. Lord, we are thankful for the citizens that you've put in this community. God, we just ask that you give our leaders wisdom and discernment as they do the business of our community. And Lord, we also want to lift up those who are serving, whether it's here or abroad in the midst of the wars that are kicking off in different parts of this world. We pray for our soldiers who are downrange, that you would have your hand of protection on them. It's in your Son's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There you go. Thank you, Perry. Kevin, if you'll call the roll to bring the court to order, please.
Ms. Sanders?
Present.
Mr. Logston?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson? Here. Mr. Bleemel?
Yes.
Judge Summers?
Yes. Thank you. The Treasurer's transfer report, Canaan.
Yes, Judge. Those dates are for September the 30th, October the 13th, and also October the 17th for your approval.
Okay.
I make a motion that we accept the treasurer's transfer.
I'll second that motion.
I got a motion by 1st District Magistrate Sanders, a second by 2nd District Magistrate Logston to approve the Treasurer's transfer report as presented. Kevin, call the roll, please.
Mr. Logston?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Bleemel?
Yes.
Judge Summers?
Yes.
Ms. Sanders?
Yes.
Thank you. The presentation and approval of all bills.
I'll make a motion that we approve all bills as presented. Second.
I have a motion by 2nd District Magistrate Logston, a second by 4th District Magistrate Bleemel to approve the bills as presented. Kevin, call the roll, please.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Bleemel?
Yes.
Judge Summers?
Yes.
Ms. Sanders?
Yes.
Mr. Logston?
Yes.
Treasurer's report, Canaan.
Yes. Judge, that includes the appropriation condition report, the revenue condition report, the liability report, and also the financial statement through September the 30th of 2023 as reported to the Department of Revenue.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we accept the treasurer's report.
I'll second.
I got a motion by 2nd District Magistrate Logston, a second by 3rd District Magistrate Johnson to approve the Treasurer's report as presented. Kevin, call the roll, please.
Mr. Bleemel?
Yes.
Judge Summers?
Yes.
Ms. Sanders?
Yes.
Mr. Logston?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Thank you. The approval of the minutes from the October 3rd, 2023 Bullitt County Fiscal Court meeting.
Make a motion, we approve the minutes of October 3rd, 2023.
I'll second.
Got a motion by 4th District Magistrate Bleemel, a second by 3rd District Magistrate Johnson to approve the minutes of the Bullitt County Fiscal Court for October 3rd, 2023. Kevin, call the roll, please.
Judge Summers?
Yes.
Ms. Sanders?
Yes.
Mr. Logston?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Bleemel?
Yes.
Thank you, Kevin. Guest speakers, presentations. First one, Julie Miller with Blue Mine. Julie's been here before, and we had quite the discussions, and she's here to give a summary of where we're at with Blue Mine Health.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate being here today. So Blue Mine has presented an ROI analysis for the county on money that we can save you as a result of using the clinic. Everyone is working very hard to control healthcare costs, and not only are we doing this across the state for several other municipalities, we also, right here in Bullitt County, have already saved the city of Shepherdsville $95,927 with a 90% utilization rate. City of Mount Washington, $23,628 with a 32% utilization rate. And City of Hillview, $13,261 with a 54% utilization rate. What we have presented in the ROI analysis is that we would save Bullitt County Fiscal Court $179,856 in healthcare costs as a result of using the clinic with just a 25% utilization rate. So not only have we exhibited across the state that we have successfully delivered these results, right here in Bullitt County, we have done so as well. We've presented a contract for your review, and we have also discounted that rate that we are offering to the county to make sure that it would fit within the budgetary line items that you have right now. I would ask if there are any questions for us specifically. Okay. If not, we would ask for approval to begin working with the county and serving them on November 1st.
Thank you, Julie. I have no questions. Your presentation and the analysis that we did on it with our staff, with Keith and the rest of us here, it's looks like it's a win. And from where we are as an executive committee, it's worth the opportunity to try it for a year and see where we're at. And at this time, if the court agrees, I'll entertain a motion to accept the contract as presented by Bullitt.
Do we have a copy of the contract
I was
here?
going to say, I didn't ever
Haven't
found a
seen it.
copy. How much of a discount, or what type of a discount are you referring?
So our rate is usually $65. We've offered a 43% discount to $45 for the county.
Contracts.
I like the ideal of it. I know when you first came here, I know in the previous administration, we had some reservations because it
don't
was
have
so
a
new,
contract
you
in
being
there?
in the community. But
This first
knowing
one
and
is
talking
some
with some of
type
the
of a
different people
contract,
that's
but I don't
utilizing
know.
it
That's
locally
it.
in the area, and then you having that data to back it up.
That's him.
I would be kind of curious to know, you said the Shepherdsville utilization rate was extremely high compared to Mount Washington.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what's anticipated. You base your numbers at 25%, which sounds very conservative based on what the other people are doing. But why do you feel like maybe the Mount Washington area is at the 33% versus, what did you say, Shepherdsville, was it like
At 90%.
90%.
So I'm sure that it's very helpful that they are
Right
literally
there.
across the street from us. Also, they have a bigger population. So like you have an even larger population than what they do. So because of that, that will also impact utilization, because we're offering this not only to the employees that are on the plan here, and part of it, we also take care of the family members. So larger groups means larger base that we're covering and taking care of.
What do you see is probably the most common use of your facility, or in terms of services, when some of the other city governments are coming through the
Sure.
doors?
Yeah. With ours, we do offer ancillary services, so things like firefighter physicals, care for police and things like that. But from a primary care perspective, like right now, we're going into flu season, so we'll have lots of traffic for that. All of our clinics have a lab available, and that's included in that. So there isn't an additional expense to the members or anything else. So as a result, it's convenience and access to care. Many times in the community, it's not about not having a good health plan, it's that they simply don't have access to care. You have great doctors in the community, but oftentimes they're at capacity and aren't able to take new patients on. So making sure that they have quick access to care is part of it. And then once we do that, we also are focused on chronic condition management. We want to make sure that we're helping those folks with diabetes, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, and several other things get on a healthier path
Yeah.
too. And we
Everybody
provide
has
access to
one.
do that.
Okay.
So-
And we're looking at, with that discount, $45 per employee per month.
And covers the whole family.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I'll second that motion by the judge, pending the approval. I don't know if you had a chance to look at that.
Yes, that contract is in this
So that's-
package.
Right,
Yeah.
it is, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Say
As
blue.
long as our county attorney's reviewed it, feels
It's a
comfortable
term
with it.
of 1 year. It'll give you all a
Right.
chance to take that year, look at it, see
Yeah, I
absolutely.
definitely think it's gonna be a good, retention tool, recruiting tool, something else to offer our employees, and anything additional that we can provide them, it would be nice. So I'm 100% in favor of it, and I think like you said, I mean, it is a one-year contract, so it gives us an opportunity at the end of the year to evaluate and see what our utilization is.
And to that point, we will be providing quarterly utilization and savings reports to you. So you won't be waiting a year to hear how things are going. You're going to hear from us quarterly on
Yeah,
that.
and I think maybe as a human resource department, we can probably adjust and make sure that our employees are well aware of it. I know you'll do a good job doing that, because that was just my fear. I think the first time you came through is, if we spend this money, are they going to take advantage of it? And it's nice to hear some of the utilization from other areas.
We actually have a full plan to roll that out, make sure that we conduct employee meetings and take care of the education. So we won't push that to HR for them to have to do it. We'll have them help us coordinate it. But we have a whole presentation plan too.
Okay, and I think, did you say that even though that the facilities here in Shepherdsville, there's others throughout the
Yes.
state, so that would open the door to them at other areas, or
Yes, they'll have
possibly?
access to all 8 of our shared site clinics, and we actually have a new one coming to Lebanon in January, as well as East Louisville in first quarter and New Albany, Indiana in first quarter as well. So as all of the new shared sites open, it's additional locations that will serve them.
Okay, sounds
That's what
great.
I was gonna ask, is what has changed since our last
Yes.
presentation? Did you get new offices?
Yeah, so Lebanon will be opening, like I said, in January, and then New Albany and East Louisville around Blankenbaker in first quarter of next year.
And to reiterate, if we visit one of these, there's no copay, and you get the insurance or the prescription while you're there at no charge.
So everything is included in that, and about 70% of what we do is at no cost.
At no
There are
cost.
some things that do require a copay, but that's another thing that we negotiated,
Right.
is a $5 copay.
Right.
So where it is a $50 copay in most cases, for Bullitt County Fiscal Court, we've negotiated a $5 copay. And none of your members will be able to go someplace else for that.
Oh, no.
And that's an
Really?
HSA rule, that's actually a federal rule and not Blue Mines.
And Judge, when we implement this will cover all departments, all
Yes.
employees of the county,
It-
including the jail, clerk's office, sheriff's department, is that correct? Everybody?
Yes. 200, well, it's going to cover 212 employees.
Is the sheriff
250.
separate or same?
No, they'll be part of this.
Part of-
Sheriff is part of the sheriff's
Yes,
department is part of
they're
this.
part of us. Yeah, it's all of our employees, even the part-time.
Okay.
Julie, I'd just like to thank you for sharing this with us, and I know I met with you at the beginning of the year, and I was really excited about it then. I talked to the judge and also Keith, and they assured me this is the right direction to go.
Well, I appreciate it. We are looking forward to serving you here.
Okay. And it covers all of y'all, too, elected officials. So,
Okay? Thank
Okay.
you so much.
So I think we had a first.
We have a second,
Yeah,
and
w-
we're discussing, so we just need
right.
Yeah.
We have a motion and a second to approve the contract by Blue Mine, even though it has a different heading on it. Care Center Services Agreement with Blue Mine. Any other discussion, members? Kevin, call the roll, please.
Ms. Sanders?
Yes.
Mr. Logston?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Blingell?
Yes.
Judge Summers?
Yes, and thank you all. The discussion was healthy and informative. I did miss a guest speaker. I'm so sorry, Eric. Can you bounce up here and present? I do apologize, and then we'll have Ms. Foster next.
Make everybody in a good mood. But my name's Eric Sullivan. I'm the second district constable in Bullitt County. I come to you today to ask you for a county radio. I've got. Sorry, Ms. Johnson, I kind of blindsided you because I talked to everybody else but you, so I apologize. But what it is like, I do traffic. I'm not out chasing the police or nothing like that. That's their job. But, I do a lot of traffic with the schools and stuff, or if there's a wreck on 65 or something like that, where, a deputy can be freed up. If there's 2 deputies doing traffic, then one can be freed up, by me taking their spot or whatever. So I'm TIM certified and all that. Not only that, when I do traffic on the schools every day, like at East Side, like the parents completely block east and westbound 44 when it's completely blocked on both ends. So it'd be nice to be able to, tell them, the other emergency services, hey, the road's gonna be, you know, blocked, so you have to follow in the other lane and come all the way up instead of, you know, waiting in traffic or whatever, so. But yeah, there's a great need, you know, like I said, I've worked several accidents so far or whatever, and if, you know, I can talk to the sheriff about, you know, even doing their non-injury accidents, I can take their reports on those, and that frees up an officer on there too, where they'll spend, you know, 20, 30 minutes on a non-injury accident, just taking a report. So, you know, I've got access to all that too with KY-OPS. I know y'all don't know what KY-OPS is, but that's basically where you do your accident reports, or, you know, they write a ticket or something like that. So that's what I come to ask you for today, is a county radio. So.
Okay. Do y'all have questions for Eric before I make some comments?
Yeah, I want to make one comment, though. I mean, even outside of the request here, I do want to applaud you. I mean, I see you out there all the time in my district, you know, working the traffic, and I mean, you're very, very, very active, and I know it's very well appreciated in our district and in our area there, especially with traffic control and the different things. My other comment would just be, I don't know, I know we've got several other magistrates, do they I mean, because whatever decision we make, I think needs to kind of encompass constables.
Between the
Yes.
three other constables and Mr. Sullivan because of that change in the law. So your other three constables were grandfathered in, they have peace officer authority. Mr. Sullivan, because of that change in the law, does not. Have
Okay.
peace officer. And there's a lawsuit pending. I said, and I even told
Right,
Mr.
yes,
Sullivan,
yes.
I believe that law's unconstitutional, but as long as that's the law, that's the law.
Until it's figured out in court, you know.
Yeah, and he has filed suit, and so that's pending in Franklin Circuit Court.
Franklin, yes.
Right.
Okay, so, and Eric, to help you a little bit, our dispatch right now, we have 5 lanes. We're getting ready to propose to the fiscal court, that's for a 6 lane. And what those lanes do, they're for the traffic of what I'm gonna say radio communications. And not only with our county, but also because we're part of Metro Safe, we can talk to Jefferson and Oldham counties as well. So moving forward, I don't think, and this is from the judge, we have a radio committee that's made up of firefighters, police chiefs, and people from the community as well. And that's where all the decisions have came from to be able to, or the recommendations back to the court for, what I'm gonna say, communication. Whether it be a radio, whether it be improvements to dispatch, whatever acronym you want to put on it for emergency services and communication. So where I'm at with it, I'm not going to speak for the entire court, but I've got to defer to them. I am not going to sit up here and pass judgment on them over something that they have more in-depth knowledge of than what I do. I do know that they are wanting a 6 lane, and we're trying to figure out how to get $275,000 to add that 6 lane through Motorola, because right now, I think the chief can tell you this, and EMS, and Whitney's not here today, but those lanes we have 5 lanes that are literally full right now. And we keep bringing on more emergency services, not from the EMS side, but the firefighters as well. So I'm wanting you to understand the full gamut of this. Nobody's picking on you, but there's 2 issues here, 2 opportunities here. They're not issues.
Right.
1, the legality. 2, our bandwidth on our dispatch. And what I don't want to do is have sheriff's department get cut off to Louisville or someplace like that because we don't have enough bandwidth.
Right. I completely understand.
Okay, and I have a ton of respect for you standing out there in front of 44. I've been through there more than one time, and how you're able to conduct the traffic flow is exceptional. And I do mean that all the way around. But when it comes to this, we have 2 opportunities here. One through what Tammy's talking about, and then one that I have through with the through our communications group. So
Yeah, I completely understand where you're coming from, you know, and we, as a constable, we can serve papers, process and stuff too,
Right.
you know what I mean? And I believe, the sheriff's department has, court people out serving papers every day. I heard, one this morning, 702 or something like that, I think, where, they're allowed, I guess, the opportunity if something, you go serve papers and something goes to heck in a handbasket, I have nobody to call. nobody, you know.
Right.
Unless I get on my phone, like, hold on a minute, don't beat me up or don't shoot me or nothing, you know what I
Sure.
mean? You know, let me dial his phone number or whatever, so. But yeah, I mean, it's just, I mean, I understand what you're saying, you know, when I became constable, it was, talked to the, assistant judge or whatever, and she was like, yeah, we'll get your radio, and then it went back to, no, you gotta talk to Tammy, Tammy's gotta authorize it. So then I went to Tammy, and Tammy was like, no, that's not my issue, that's the county judge issue, so you need to get on the, you know,
Right.
the books and, you know, whatever.
And I appreciate you being here and the candor of all this, but I'm really wanting you to understand the depth and breadth of this too as well. So that's where I'm at with it. I'm not going to speak for the other 4 members of the court, but as executive of the county, this is where we are. We need a 6th lane here now,
Right.
and we're trying to figure out how we can get the $275,000 to pay to Motorola to add that lane.
Right.
Because if we do have an emergency or a disaster, it would be, it would not be healthy for this community not to be able to.
Radio chaos.
Yes, and this is what we're trying to avoid.
Right, I completely understand that, you know. So I am CJIS, you know, certified, you know, I've obviously just tested the federal government and all that too, so by the way. So.
I got a question just in general. I don't know who can answer it, but regardless of the change in law and stuff, we've got 3 other constables. Do they have radios?
Mm-hmm.
And you're the only constable that doesn't have a radio.
And again, it's because of that change in the law, and it would be my legal advice, and I like Mr. Sullivan too, I think he's doing a great job for Mount Washington in his area. It's my advice that you not approve his request, and I think that litigation needs to play out in Franklin Circuit Court. I don't know where that sits right now, I'm not involved in that in any way, but, my advice is that you not give him radio.
What does the law, why is the law there? Why was it written? What is it restricting or?
So it changed the duties of a constable.
Right.
Constables taking office after January 1, 2023, no longer automatically have peace officer authority, or three other constables were grandfathered in because they already held office. Now, Mr. Sullivan would have to go to the police academy and complete the academy training to become certified, and that's almost impossible for a constable to get in. That's restricted as well, but.
I've done all the paperwork and everything with the DOJTC or whatever, and I've got them in the letters program and all that stuff. So I mean, I'm really close to being, you know, going to the academy or whatever. It's just this in front of me is hindering me.
And I agree with the law, well, that's not the question.
I want to ask just a couple ignorant questions, just because I don't know. And you know, when it comes to the radio, I mean, is this the same radio that our emergency services have, like in ambulances and so forth?
They're emergency personnel.
Yeah.
But it's the same type of radio, broadband system, whatever we're talking about?
It's the same dispatch, same signals, same channels. That
Okay.
answer your,
So the paramedics and EMS carry a radio okay.
yeah.
I worked for EMS in this county for, you know, 5-6 years, I guess, back when Phillips was the director, you know. So I mean, I've somebody ODs, you know, I hear it come out, I can make it, you know what I mean? It's just, there's pros and cons, you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm CJIS certified to not, you know, divulge any information or whatever, but any information you hear now, you can pick up on your cell phone, you know what I mean? I can pick up every conversation that ever was on my cell phone, you know what I mean? So, I mean, to me, to be able to communicate back with, you know, whoever to say, you know what, you know, just like when they have a working building fire in the county or something, they always send the county unit out there to, you know, sit with the, you know, fire department to make sure they don't get run over their hose. Well, that's a wasted resource, you know what I mean? To me, when I can go out there and sit, and they can be free to do that. When 61 had that bad truck wreck on 61 here just the other day, last week, and it shut down 61, I was the one that sat there all night for 8 hours blocking the road, you know, so nobody would go through until, you know, you know, if they fix the bridge down there or whatever, so.
And Mr. Sullivan, we've talked about that before, that you can't run a scanner in your vehicle.
I'm not running a scanner, it's on my phone.
Because that's a
Yeah,
crime.
yes, it's on my phone, I'm much aware of
If it's a
that.
scanner on your phone, that's a crime.
No, that's not what's been ruled by, the courts or nothing. Nothing's been ruled on that yet. On an app on a phone, it's not a scanner. So there's nothing been ruled against that. I can show you in the thing. I can show you on the thing that there's nothing been ruled against having a scanner app on your telephone. But there is a law against having a scanner, because the scanner, you pick it up right away. The app on your phone, there's a 2-minute delay. You don't pick it like, if he were to talk right now on the radio, I wouldn't get it till 2 minutes later. That's why it's different on a cell phone than it is on a scanner. Scanner picks it up right away, you know, to where like if somebody's chasing me or whatever, the police are chasing me, and they say, hey, we're chasing blah, blah, blah. Well, if I had a scanner, I could hear that right away. You know what I mean? So, oh, I need to duck away and hide. On an app, it doesn't. There's a 2 minute delay. So,
My legal opinion is that he's not correct about that, but it's up to the court. I've given you my advice.
Okay.
I can't speak on behalf of everybody else, but I appreciate you coming in, but I think it's obviously something we need to consider and review. It's something we can't make a decision on today. I personally can't.
as soon as I can get fit enough to go, you know, it's not easy. I've been through the academy in Jefferson County, okay? I've been through Corrections Academy, and they do exactly the same pop test and all that stuff. And, you know, I'm just trying to get that approved. You know, I was a police officer. I'm the only constable that's been a police officer. I was a police officer at the airport police. I was also on the sheriff's department back when Vaughn was sheriff. You know, so I mean, I've got the training. You know, way more than you know the other constables do. Not knocking them or nothing, but you know, I mean, I just don't have no way to. It's more or less for protection. I'm not getting on the radio to be like, you know, hey Joe Blow, where you going or whatnot. You know what I mean? That's not what I'm doing here. So.
Okay.
I totally agree about the protection. However, I feel like we do need to wait and see what's gonna happen in Franklin County on this lawsuit.
Right.
And then maybe look into it then.
That's fine. I mean, like that lawsuit, they said it's probably gonna take over a year and a half to be settled or whatever. So.
Do you all have oral arguments or anything scheduled right now?
Yeah, they responded to ours, so now we are responding back. That's got to be back at the end of this month.
You're briefing back and forth?
Yes, and it was the 15th, but it got extended until the 30th of this month for the next briefing step or whatever, you know. So.
Okay.
Is it your lawsuit personally, or is it other constables involved?
Other constables as in me and other
Class action
constables too
type
that,
thing.
you know, they're unjust
Right.
you know, because of the Constitution, so it's unconstitutional, so.
I do appreciate what you're doing for the county.
Thank you.
And I think it's a consensus of the court. We appreciate it, but we have to do our due diligence too, Eric. I hope you understand that as well. Any other questions, comments? Brian, anything? Karen? Sean?
No.
Vera? We will thank you for coming in, Eric.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, at this time, Ms. Foster, Parks and Recreation, an update.
Good morning, Court. We started this project in May, the Bullitt County Disc Golf Course. and I
Can
have
you
a
speak into the mic a little bit better?
I have a presentation showing what's happened from May to today. Before we get into the presentation, I want to thank the Bullitt County Road Department, Robert Watkins and his crew, Bullitt County Detention Center, Brian Whitaker's staff and the inmates, also EMA, Justin Warren and John Waters for their help. Without them, I couldn't have done what I've done. But Candy has a presentation here. I'm going to show you what's happening with the park today. This was May. This was where the #1 hole, where we start the game, the tee box. You see it's all grown up. So it was not very park friendly. The next picture will be what it looks like today. Safe. A lot of work's gone into that. Next slide. The pavilion. When we started, the pavilion was just gravel, not much going on there, no place to sit, no place for the kids to hang out. Today, we have it concreted, picnic tables moved down, grills set, so we're making progress. Next slide. This is going into the park, #4 tee box. The only way you could get to that area was down the creek and up the creek. With Robert and the road department, we installed this bridge. Also, this bridge is, the width is wide enough for a wheelchair to make it ADA accessible. So, next picture, please. There's the trails. I just went to Frankfurt over Parks and Rec trails to get a grant. to have those paved. Hoping to hear back pretty soon to make it ADA accessible, to have those also paved. All right, next slide. This shows the golf course, the layout of the hose, our future plans for pickleball court, resurface basketball court, and then a water venue where the present pool is. Hopefully that will come. Next slide. This is now just a little video that Justin Warren helped me put together, but I couldn't use it at Frankfurt, so I'd like you all to see it. And I will say, as you look at the creek, you can now see from one end to the other. You can see anybody walking, everything across. So, it's pretty wide open. A lot of work's gone into it. So, we have like 1.8 committed, hopefully, to get the next phases going. Just kind of waiting on grants at this point. I will say this, you can go to Bullitt County Disc Golf Course. There's a Facebook page. You can keep up with what's happening, events. Also, there's a UDisc app for people that play disc golf. On this app, I looked at 39 courses that are in a 50-mile radius of us, and we have one of the highest ratings. We have a 4.4, and there's only, out of that 39 courses that are listed, there's only 6 with a 4.4 rating, so. That's all I have.
It looks amazing. I mean, it's came so far. It really has. Getting that underbrush kind of cleared out and stuff really helps a lot.
I was going to say the 9 years that I managed there at the Maryville Pool, I always felt like that was the best kept secret in Bullitt County was this park, and I always wanted, more to be done with the park. So it's really exciting to see it come to fruition like that.
Thank you. On the UDisc app, you can also see, as far as tourism for the county, we've had probably, I think at least in the month of August, 6 different states, people from 6 different states visit us. And you can track the hours played and all that, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, they have their own little community, and they'll even meet you over there and teach you how to play or give you some discs if you don't have any. So y'all ought to take advantage of it.
They don't let you drive a golf cart, though, when you play, do they?
They do not. No motorized vehicles, please. But anyway, this is the first step, and hopefully by the next spring, we'll start our next phase.
Ms. Foster, you did a wonderful job.
Well, thank you. All right. Thank you all.
Very cool.
Thank you, Ms. Foster.
And you don't just lead. I seen you out there on the tractor one day, didn't I?
On the tractor?
Oh,
Sure, driving.
Mm-hmm.
I love that we have the jail and the road department helping out too,
Yep.
So.
It's been a team effort, that's for sure.
That's right.
Thank you, Kim. Christy, Solid Waste Coordinator.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm finally happy to start giving you guys some numbers on our recycle initiatives. I know the question that everyone's asking lately is how many tires, so we'll get to that. I want to talk about our household hazardous waste event that we had a couple weeks ago. The contractors came in expecting 40 cars because that's what we had done in the past. We had 249 vehicles pass through there, not counting my work truck, which had some materials from the county. So we had 250 vehicles. That was amazing. They brought enough, we filled every vehicle they had, plus their personal vehicles. The total for that was 13,000 pounds of electronic scrap, and 18,500 pounds of household hazardous waste. That's amazing. That could not have been done without the help of the Bullitt County Detention Center. The inmate labor, we could not have done that without them. Thank you to Cart Country. That's something we rescheduled at the last minute, and we asked them if they could graciously host that, and they did. So the difference in the amount of response might have been the location. So I am going to ask for more grant money to do a second one. But what was kind of discouraging to find out was, as people came through, I asked, how did you find out about this? We're having a hard time getting the information to people in Bullitt County that these events are going on. They said, oh, I just found out about it yesterday. So you'll be receiving some correspondence from me saying, hey, help me push this information out to our community. Waste Tire Days, that was big. I'm going to guess 50,000 tires. We won't know until probably 2 more weeks. When we did that 3 years ago, we host that every 3 years. The Division of Waste Management funds that, and 26 counties a year host that. Every county is supposed to make that open to the entire state, and it's free disposal. It's funded by, every time you buy a tire, there's a $2 or $5 fee, and that money goes to fund this program to help these tires be removed from the state of Kentucky. That program, or that initiative through the state, has removed 19 million tires from Kentucky so far. I'll forward you guys some information about this too, because we had a lot of questions about tires and why did we want them removed. Mosquitoes are 5,000 times more likely to breed in water that's accumulated in tires. And so not only is it a fire hazard, it's a health hazard. So when I get the final number, you guys will know. Thank you to Cart Country. It took a week to remove those tires. We, in our group, the counties that remove tires in the same year that we do, we are the 4th largest county. This year, I expect that we'll be the 2nd largest county with the amount of tires that we received. We probably got 30,000 probably the first day. It was a lot. So once again, asking people as they're driving through, how did you hear about this today? They say, oh, I just found out about it today. My neighbor told me. So the Pioneer News did a great job, helping push information out. There was a lot of communication, but we need to find more ways to reach our community. I don't know. Maybe you guys can help me with that. And lastly, I want to remind everyone that we have the Recycle Center. I'm going to be pushing some information out to you guys too to help distribute. We're expecting between 10 and 12,000 cars to pass through the Recycle Center this year, and we have opened the Recycle Center to glass as well. So we feel like during the holidays that's going to be a big item to recycle in Bullitt County. So I appreciate your guys' help and your support for recycling in Bullitt County.
And the recycle center.
It is open 6 days a week, and the word's just getting out about Mondays. So we are having Tuesdays and Saturdays are our number 1 day for recycle. So we're hoping to relieve a little bit of that, because you drive in and then you turn around, and sometimes people are waiting, and we want them to be able to get through, as quickly as they can. We've got some quotes on maybe some compactors and some things to limit the traffic through there. So you'll see some information coming soon about that. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Christie. We're going to table on the new business 1 through 3 until the next November the 5th, I believe, or 7th, court meeting. Tammy, the second reading of the ordinance for 19-26 text amendment to 2023 T-01, Section 9.3, Schedule of Fees.
Commonwealth of Kentucky, County of Bullitt, zoning ordinance number 23-35, an ordinance relating to text amendment 2023 T-01, amending section 9.4 of the Bullitt County Planning and Zoning Regulations, Schedule of Fees. Whereas the Fiscal Court of Bullitt County has considered the evidence of the public hearing held by the Joint Planning Commission and the recommendations of the Commission, the information provided in the staff report of the Office of Bullitt County Planning and Zoning, and the testimony and evidence presented at the public hearing held by the Fiscal Court, and whereas the Fiscal Court concurs in and adopts the reasons of the Joint Planning Commission for said text amendment and approves and accepts the recommendations of the Planning Commission in this matter as set out in said minutes, and determines that the proposed text amendment is acceptable and should be approved. Now therefore be it ordained by the Fiscal Court of County of Bullitt, Commonwealth of Kentucky. Section 1. The text amendment 2023 T-01 attached hereto and incorporated herein by reference as of set out in full is adopted. Section 2. This ordinance shall take effect upon passage and publication as required by law. Section 3. Should any section, provision, or part of this ordinance be declared unconstitutional or invalid for any reason by a court of competent jurisdiction, then the remainder of this ordinance shall not be affected and shall remain in full force and effect. Section 4. All ordinances and resolutions, to the extent they are inconsistent herewith, are hereby repealed. Given first reading and public hearing at a regular meeting of the Bullitt County Fiscal Court on the 3rd day of October 2023. Given second reading at a regular meeting of the Bullitt County Fiscal Court on the 17th day of October 2023.
Thank you, Tammy. I need a motion to approve the text amendment for the schedule of fees for planning and zoning.
I'll make that motion that we accept the ordinance 19-26 text amendment 2023 T-01, section 9.4, schedule of fees.
I'll second.
Got a motion by 2nd District Magistrate Logsdon, a second by 1st District Magistrate Sanders to approve the second reading of zoning ordinance 23-35, text amendment 2023 T-01, section 9.4, schedule of fees for Bullitt County planning and zoning and code enforcement. Kevin, call the roll, please.
Mr. Logsdon?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Blingell?
Yes.
Mr. Summers?
Yes.
Ms. Sanders?
Yes.
Tammy, thank you, Kevin. Passes. The second reading of zoning ordinance 19-26, the text amendment 2023 T-02, industrial zoning and the landscape regulations.
Commonwealth of Kentucky, County of Bullitt, zoning ordinance number 23-36. An ordinance relating to text amendment 2023 T-02, adding new section 5.803 of the Bullitt County Planning and Zoning Regulations, industrial zoning landscape regulations. Whereas the Fiscal Court of Bullitt County has considered the evidence of the public hearing held by the Joint Planning Commission and the recommendations of the Commission, the information provided in the staff report of the Office of Bullitt County Planning and Zoning, and the testimony and evidence presented at the public hearing held by the Fiscal Court, and whereas the Fiscal Court concurs in and adopts the reasons of the Joint Planning Commission for said text amendment, and approves and accepts the recommendations of the Planning Commission in this matter as set out in said minutes, and determines that the proposed text amendment is acceptable and should be approved. Now therefore be it ordained by the Fiscal Court of County of Bullitt, Commonwealth of Kentucky, Section 1, that text amendment 2023 T-02 attached hereto and incorporated herein by reference as if set out in full is adopted. Section 2, this ordinance shall take effect upon passage and publication as required by law. Section 3, should any section, provision, or part of this ordinance be declared unconstitutional or invalid for any reason by a court of competent jurisdiction, then the remainder of this ordinance shall not be affected and shall remain in full force and effect. Section 4, all ordinances and resolutions, to the extent they are inconsistent herewith, are hereby repealed. Given first reading and public hearing at a regular meeting of the Bullitt County Fiscal Court on the 3rd day of October 2023. Given second reading at a regular meeting of the Bullitt County Fiscal Court on the 17th day of October 2023.
Thank you, Tammy. I will make the motion to approve the zoning ordinance 23-36, a text amendment to 2023 T-02, section 5.800 about industrial zoning landscaping regulation.
I'll second.
I have a second by 3rd District Magistrate Johnson. Kevin, call a roll, please.
Ms. Johnson? Yes. Mr. Blingell?
Yes.
Judge Summers?
Yes.
Ms. Sanders?
Yes.
Mr. Logsdon?
Yes.
Thank you. Tammy, second reading zoning ordinance 19-26, text amendment 2023 T-03, special overlay district text amendment defining type 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 landscaping.
Commonwealth of Kentucky, County of Bullitt, zoning ordinance number 23-37, an ordinance relating to text amendment 2023 T-03, amending the special overlay district of the Bullitt County Planning and Zoning Regulations. Whereas the Fiscal Court of Bullitt County has considered the evidence of the public hearing held by the Joint Planning Commission and the recommendations of the Commission, the information provided in the staff report of the Office of Bullitt County Planning and Zoning, and the testimony and evidence presented at the public hearing held by the Fiscal Court, and whereas the Fiscal Court concurs in and adopts the reasons of the Joint Planning Commission for said text amendment, and approves and accepts the recommendations of the Planning Commission in this matter as set out in said minutes, and determines that the proposed text amendment is acceptable and should be approved. Now therefore be it ordained by the Fiscal Court of County of Bullitt, Commonwealth of Kentucky. Section 1. The text amendment 2023 T-03 attached hereto and incorporated herein by reference as of set out in full is adopted. Section 2. This ordinance shall take effect upon passage and publication as required by law. Section 3. Should any section, provision, or part of this ordinance be declared unconstitutional or invalid for any reason by a court of competent jurisdiction, then the remainder of this ordinance shall not be affected and shall remain in full force and effect. Section 4. All ordinances and resolutions to the extent they are inconsistent herewith are hereby repealed. Given first reading and public hearing at a regular meeting of the Bullitt County Fiscal Court on the 3rd day of October 2023. Given second reading at a regular meeting of the Bullitt County Fiscal Court on the 17th day of October 2023.
Thank you, Tammy.
I make a motion to accept ordinance 19-26, text amendment 2023 T-03, special overlay district text amendment.
Second.
Got a motion by 1st District Magistrate Sanders, a second by 4th District Magistrate Blemo to approve zoning ordinance 2336, the text amendment 2023-T, special overlay district text amendment. Kevin, call the roll, please.
Mr. Blingell?
Yes.
Judge Summers?
Yes.
Ms. Sanders?
Yes.
Mr. Logsdon?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Thank you all. We're going to table action item number 7 as well. Number 8, there's an agreement in your packet for $1,212, a grant from the Department of Agriculture for spay-neuter procedures grant for our animal control. To me, they killed a lot of paper for such anyway, an agreement for $1,200. Yes, we just have to make sure that it all goes to that, Vera, to help you.
Just to help with.
Yes, animal shelter. Yes, sir, it sure is, Brian, from the Department of Agriculture, Mr. Quarles.
Okay.
Yes, we sure do. For this, it's a contractual agreement that we're going to spend the money that way.
So I'll make a motion that we accept the agreement for the spay and neuter grant of 2023.
Okay.
Second.
Got a motion by 3rd District Magistrate, Johnson, a second by 4th District Magistrate Blemo to approve the spay-neuter grant agreement with the Kentucky Department of Agriculture. Kevin, call the roll, please.
Judge Summers?
Yes.
Ms. Sanders?
Yes.
Mr. Logsdon?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Blamel.
Yes.
Thank you. Number 9, Resolution 23-06, authorizing Bullitt County to execute documents for the jail arraignment equipment grant. And I'm sorry that he's not here, but we've submitted information to the jail for their arraignment equipment. We can recover a lot of the money that we've spent, and we've also done one for the, I know Kevin's here as well, for the voting equipment as well. And this is just our resolution that we will move forward with this in a, what I'm going to say, legal and judicious way.
I make a motion that we accept the resolution 23-06, authorizing Bullitt County to execute documents for jail equipment.
Amy has to read
Judge, I
it.
do need to read it.
Do what now?
I'm sorry, I do need to read it. I didn't.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. No.
I'm
Well, we all had it in our packet, so it's okay. You can go ahead and read it, Tammy. I
Fiscal year
apologize.
2023-2024, House Bill 1, Jail Arraignment Equipment Grant, authorizing resolution, County of Bullitt. Adoption of a resolution of the Bullitt County Fiscal Court authorizing the filing of a Kentucky House Bill 1, Jail Arraignment Equipment Grant application for up to $40,746, and House Bill 1 for project funds with the Department for Local Government, authorizing and directing the Bullitt County Judge Executive to execute any documents which are deemed necessary by DLG to carry out this project, and authorizing the Judge Executive to act as the authorized correspondent for this project. Whereas Bullitt County desires to purchase jail arraignment equipment approved by the Administrative Office of the Courts on behalf of the residents of Bullitt County by supporting the House Bill 1 project, and whereas it is recognized that House Bill 1 monies available to the county for the purposes stated herein pursuant to 2022 Kentucky General Assembly House Bill 1, the Budget Bill, impose certain obligations and responsibilities upon the county and will require, among other things, 1, approval of a satisfactory application transmitted to DLG for approval, and 2, other obligations of the county in connection with receiving the House Bill 1 grant of monies for the purposes stated herein. Now, therefore, be it resolved this 17th day of October 2023 by Bullitt County Fiscal Court that a House Bill 1 jail arraignment equipment grant application on behalf of the county for House Bill 1 monies up to $40,746 for jail video arraignment equipment project. Project shall be submitted to DLG. The county shall provide such additional information and furnish such documentation as may be required, and the county judge executive shall act as the authorized correspondent for this project.
Thank you, Tammy. Yes, please.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion to accept the resolution 23-06, authorizing Bullitt County to execute documents for jail equipment.
Okay.
Second.
I have a motion by, excuse me, 1st District Magistrate Sanders, a second by 4th District Magistrate Blamel, to authorize Resolution 23-06, authorizing Bullitt County to execute documents for the jail arraignment equipment grant. Kevin, call the roll, please.
Ms. Sanders?
Yes.
Mr. Longston?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Blamel?
Yes.
Judge Summers?
Yes. Thank you, Kevin. Back here to my agenda. Number 10, an ordinance, the 23-04 ordinance requiring smoke detectors in all Bullitt County residential dwellings. We've read this once, and this is the second reading. That was advertised and all the fun stuff.
Yes, Judge, and I will read this one by summary.
Yes, ma'am.
Commonwealth of Kentucky, Bullitt County, ordinance number 23-04, an ordinance relating to the installation and verification of working smoke detectors in all Bullitt County residential dwellings. Be it ordained by the Fiscal Court of County of Bullitt, Commonwealth of Kentucky. In summary, number 1 sets forth the definitions. Number 2 sets forth that smoke detectors are required in every dwelling. Number 3 sets forth that a person may not knowingly interfere with or make inoperable any detectors. Number 4 sets forth that owners of all rental units used as residential dwellings must supply working detectors at time of lease, and tenants must keep detectors in working order. Number 5 sets forth that an affidavit must be provided by the property owner at time of sale or lease of a dwelling that same is equipped with detectors in compliance with this ordinance. Number 6 sets forth severability. Number 7 sets forth inconsistent ordinances repealed. Number 8 sets forth ordinance to be published. given first reading at a regular meeting of the Bullitt County Fiscal Court on the 7th day of March 2023, given second reading at a regular meeting of the Bullitt County Fiscal Court on the 17th day of October 2023.
Thank you, Tammy.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a couple comments before we, but I will put that on the motion, accept that. But it's been a long time coming. This obviously, what's really important about this one is this ordinance dates back to January of this year. Most people here are aware of why this ordinance was developed. I'm a real estate broker and realtor and auctioneer, and often do a lot of transactions in Louisville and Jefferson County. And it was just a couple weeks before this tragedy happened that I had a closing in Jefferson County where all of my sellers were required to sign an affidavit stating that there was working smoke detectors in the home. It really didn't go much further than that, other than an affidavit, simple affidavit stating that there are working smoke detectors in the home. We kind of brought that back with the idea that, it was just a couple weeks later that the tragedy happened in Lebanon Junction that most people's aware about. And that's where this ordinance kind of came. At that point, January of this year, Erin Toogood, 27 years old, also 6 months pregnant at that time, she was killed in the fire along with her daughter Hazley, and then another young girl, Reagan, was in that same tragedy. So there was several lives lost. And talking with different people in the community and stuff, there was no working smoke detectors in that home. They died of smoke inhalation. And that's what kills most people in a fire is the smoke. So the smoke detectors obviously are something there just to try to buy some time to get people out of the home. Might be in that situation. So we looked at that, and I came back and thought, that that's something. Bullitt County is obviously one of the fastest growing counties, very large, very similar. And it wasn't something that we want to enact a lot of new laws and new ordinances, but the timing of that just seemed like, wow, that was a really simple affidavit for somebody if they're going to sell a home, whether a couple $100,000 is the average price of a home in Bullitt County, what's a $20 smoke detector in that transaction? So that was the thought process kind of behind it. If this ordinance could save one life, wow, we're all doing something right here. There was a lot of input put into that after the thought, and it became a little bit overcomplicated, I'll be honest. It made it very confusing, I think, if that ordinance were to be passed earlier in the year, well, what was required and what wasn't required. I really liked the effort that was put into this, and because it's only a 3-page doc. I mean, it's pretty simple. It basically states if you're there are some more specific details in there, but if you sell a home in Bullitt County, you'll be required to sign an affidavit that says, as you sell that home, there's working smoke detectors in that home. If you're a landlord, you're required to supply smoke detectors in that home. Now, the tenants have responsibilities too, but if they request that from the landlord, those things are in here. But this is very simple. We didn't include carbon monoxide detectors. We didn't include other things. It could always be improved or added to down the road, but I think this is a great starting point, a great tribute to pay some respects to some unfortunate situation where several lives were lost because there wasn't working smoke detectors. So I'm a huge fan of this. I think this is going to go back to a large responsibility of our county and of educating other fellow realtors and other sellers and buyers and stuff that this is their mortgage companies. I mean, they all need to be aware of this. But it's a really simple things that should be done right now. Everybody should have working smoke detectors, and if you're selling a home, just ensure that there's working smoke detectors in there. I know there's several people in here that even have rental property, and hopefully you'll see that this has taken a couple steps back, but it still protects those tenants and still protects the landlords to a degree. So I'm very happy with the way this is, and with that being said, if there's no other comments, I'd like to put that in the form of a motion that we accept ordinance 23-04 requiring smoke detectors in all Bullitt County residential dwellings, also known as the Aaron, Hazley, and Reagan Act.
Second.
Question?
Go ahead.
It says carbon monoxide.
Oh, that needed to just be, that was just in the title, and I cut that out of the summary, when I read it. So it's not carbon monoxide. It's only smoke detectors.
So, any other questions? So I have a motion by 2nd District Magistrate Logsdon, a second by 1st District Magistrate Sanders, to approve the second reading of zoning ordinance 23-04 requiring smoke detectors in all Bullitt County residential dwellings. Kevin, call the roll, please.
Mr. Logston?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Blingell?
Yes.
Judge Summers?
Yes.
Ms. Sanders?
Thank you all. Number 11, in your packet, there's a U.S. Geological Survey Agreement for operation and maintenance of the Longwood Creek Streamage at Claremont. It's two prices. We've done this for the last 4 years, 5 years. It's been part of the fiscal court for almost 15 years. There's two prices in there, what we own from now till the end of the year and then all of next year. It should be around $13,000 or $14,000. And it's in Longwood Creek. It's a USGS station, geological, where it makes sure it regulates, it lets the geological portion of the Corps of Engineers know how much water flow is down that stream. Determines whether it's no flow or a real stream.
Why is it just that stream? Other streams?
Because of the industrial development on that stream. You have Four Roses and you have Jim Beam, and then also it comes out of Nelson County as well. And they pull water out of those industrial bases to help you. Vera comes, they have what I'm going to say vertical pumps that pull water out of those streams too. So they need to know how much water is being taken out and how much it is all year round flowing.
I'll put that in the.
Okay.
Second.
Got a motion by 4th District Magistrate Blingell, a second by 2nd District Magistrate Logston to approve the agreement for the operation and maintenance of Long Lake Streamage at Claremont. Kevin, call the roll.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Blingell?
Yes.
Judge Summers?
Yes.
Ms. Sanders?
Yes.
Mr. Logston?
Yes.
Thank you all. Next one's professional service agreement between Bullitt County Emergency Medical Services and U of L Health. This agreement replaces our contractual agreement that we had with Dr. Crafton, as now he is part of that group. And it's the same amount of funding that we had used before, but it also expands what I'm going to say, the base that U of L provides to our EMS team. I summarize that the right way, Chris? Yes, or if you'd like to add to it, feel free to. You or Rebecca, either one.
This agreement allows us to gain more education from U of L and have more involvement from
I'll put that in the form of a motion that we accept the professional services agreement bind between Bullitt County Emergency Medical Services and University of Louisville Health.
Emergency management.
I'll second.
Got a motion by 2nd District Magistrate Logston, a second by 3rd District Magistrate Johnson to approve the agreement with University of Louisville Health, or U of L Health, emergency management for medical services to our EMS team. Kevin, call the roll, please.
Mr. Blingell?
Yes.
Judge Summers?
Yes.
Ms. Sanders?
Yes.
Mr. Logston?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Thank you all. And the next one is the first reading of ordinance 2338, the county reapportionment of which we did a couple months ago.
Yes, judges, this is the exact same thing that the court already voted on and approved. This is just putting it in the form of an ordinance.
Right.
There's no change.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
And Judge, before I read this one, I do have a question. What is the amount of money that was paid to each commissioner? That's the only thing I didn't have.
Oh, each commissioner, we paid them, was it $200, Candy?
Okay.
$200.
Commonwealth of Kentucky, Bullitt County Ordinance Number 23-38, an ordinance pursuant to KRS 67.045, adopting the report of the Reapportionment Commission and reestablishing the boundary lines of the existing magisterial districts, adopting a map of same, and fixing compensation of reapportionment commissioners. Whereas KRS 67.045 subsection 2 requires that the fiscal court of Bullitt County, Kentucky maintain each county magisterial district in a manner so that each district be drawn so that the districts are compact, contiguous, and the population of each district is nearly equal as possible. And whereas KRS 67.045 subsection 4 requires that the fiscal court initiate reapportionment proceedings in May of the first year following the decennial census of the United States 2020 census data attached hereto as Exhibit C, and at other times as appropriate. And whereas that the fiscal court of Bullitt County has appointed 3 reapportionment commissioners who reside in Bullitt County and County Clerk Kevin Mooney. And whereas the Reapportionment Commission filed its report with the Bullitt County Fiscal Court indicating that existing magisterial districts are not as equal as possible and therefore recommending changes in such districts. Now therefore be it ordained by the Fiscal Court of County of Bullitt, Commonwealth of Kentucky as follows. Section 1. The findings of fact and recommendations of the Reapportionment Commission having been presented to Fiscal Court and attached hereto as Exhibit A is hereby adopted, ratified, and incorporated herein as if set out in full, and the boundaries of the magisterial districts shall be modified to the boundaries as recommended in such report and depicted and attached hereto as Exhibit B is hereby adopted. Section 2. The commissioners shall be paid the sum of $200 by the county treasurer for their services. Section 3. The advertisement of the consideration of this ordinance, published in accordance with KRS Chapter 424, shall notify any registered voter of Bullitt County, Kentucky, that an action may be brought before Bullitt Circuit Court to reverse the provisions of this ordinance within 20 days of the adoption hereof. Section 4. Severability. Should any section, subdivision, sentence, or clause of this ordinance be held unconstitutional or invalid for any reason by a court of competent jurisdiction, then such portion shall be deemed a separate, distinct, and independent provision, and such holding shall not affect the validity of the remaining portions of this ordinance. Section 5. Inconsistent ordinances repealed. All ordinances and resolutions or parts thereof, to the extent they are inconsistent herewith, are hereby repealed. Section 6. Publication requirement. This ordinance shall take effect upon passage and publication as required by law. Given first reading at a regular meeting of the Bullitt County Fiscal Court on the 17th day of October 2023, to be given second reading at a regular meeting of the Bullitt County Fiscal Court on the 7th day of November 2023.
Thank you, Tammy. Number 14, the approval of the updated administrative code. Does any of the magistrates have any concerns or questions about it? Okay. Good. You're the one who examines them most closely anyway. There you go.
I don't know.
I shouldn't say that, but I mean,
Vera's pretty.
and Vera too,
Yeah.
and well, all of you, but to make the point is, anyway, so I need to put that in the form of, we need to put that in the form of a motion.
You need a motion that we
Yes.
approve the updated administrative code?
Yes.
I'll make the motion.
Okay. And I have a motion by Third District Magistrate Johnson, a second by Fourth District Magistrate Blamel to approve the updated administrative code as presented. Vera, you good with it? Yes. Okay. Just wanting to be sure. Okay. That's okay. Kevin, call the roll, please. Okay.
Mr. Johnson made a motion.
Mr. Blamel, second. Yes.
Oh, Vera second.
And then I was just wanting to make sure on the comment side that Vera was good with it too. No, we're good. We're okay. So, yes, so Kevin, call the roll.
Ms. Sanders?
Yes.
Mr. Logston?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Blamel?
Yes.
Judge Summers?
Yes. And I want to thank all of y'all for your due diligence in going through this. It's been a while. We had to separate it out. We had too much human resources in there that's in our employee handbook as well.
Thank you, Janice, for a lot of hard work.
A ton of it. Okay, the very last thing is, it's what we do almost every meeting, or close to it. There's 3 employees that we need for emergency services. The first one, Vance Stewart, full-time EMT, effective date 1950 an hour, back to 10/11 of 23. Bobby, how you say his last name? Eggwood. I know we didn't get that right, and I didn't in the interview. Part-time paramedic, $27 an hour, effective yesterday. And Abigail Farrell, an EMT at $19.50 an hour, to advanced EMT, which is great for Chris, and thank you all for your due diligence and the training efforts that yourselves and Ms. Schaffner puts together at $21.50 an hour, effective back to 10/5/23. And I'll put that in the form of a motion. I have a second by 3rd District Magistrate Johnson. Kevin, call the roll, please.
Mr. Logston?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Blingell?
Yes.
Judge Summers?
Yes.
Ms. Sanders?
Yes.
Thank you all. Vera, any comments, questions, concerns?
No, I do not.
Okay, thank you. Sean?
I'm good today. Trick or treat, everybody have a good Halloween.
There you go. Karen?
Yes, I hope everybody's been enjoying all of the festivities and festivals and fall fests and bonfires. But the chili cook-off this Thursday for the Dare Department with the Sheriff's Department, 5 o'clock.
Yep.
I'll be there.
Okay. Brian?
I don't have anything today.
Good deal. And again, I'm going to reiterate what Karen said. The homecoming parade for Bullitt Central is this Thursday. So if you're driving through Shepherdsville, I'd be careful. The streets are going to be closed. I can't thank Christy and Kim enough for presenting today. They're both true professionals, and you can tell this by the end result of their products. Mayor Taylor, thank you for being here as always, and I do apologize that I didn't stay for your meeting, but the hospital meeting was enough for me the other night. They meet right after the hospital meeting as well on Tuesdays. Anyway, Kevin, Vera, what time is it?
It's 10:42. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Okay.
Second.
I have a motion by 1st District Magistrate Sanders, a second by 2nd District Magistrate Logston to adjourn the Bullitt County Fiscal Court at 10:42 on the 17th day of October. Kevin, call the roll.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Blingell?
Yes.
Judge Summers?
Yes.
Ms. Sanders?
Yes.
Mr. Logston?
Yes.
Thank you all. Have a good day. Hey, we did. Hey, Keith, would you ask Chris and Rebecca to stay?
Sure.
Hey, and